Black Mass and Indian since it's Black History Month. A lot of people are puzzled or lost. How you get Black Indians? So the story goes, long time ago, still in the slavery days, when the slaves used to run away from plantations or their masters or whatever situations that they didn't really want to face, they would run to the Indian reservation. And the Indians would not take care of them, but just kind of give them like a refuge or a sanctuary because the white folks wasn't going on that reservation. And with doing so, I guess that gave the slaves big respect for the Indian, for the natives. So when the slaves would probably go back to wherever they was going, or back to their plantations, or back to their situations, I believe you had what was called carnival then, not Mardi Gras. I believe Mardi Gras came after carnival, if I'm not mistaken, or either vice versa. But whichever, it was only for whites. Blacks wasn't able to participate, unless they was carrying a fire torch or cleaning the horse shit up on the route. Other than that, blacks wasn't allowed. So blacks decided to start doing their own Mardi Gras, their own carnival. But it was more of a community thing. It was done for the community. Since the blacks couldn't go to the white carnival, we would have our black Mardi Gras, our black carnival in our own neighborhoods, for the community. So you started dressing out as Indians and respect and honor the Indians. But after so many years, after it evolved, it started changing from a normal Native American Indian look to more of an African thing. So now it's really like a mixture of both. If you look at some of the suits, you'll still see some of the Native American styles in it, but you'll see a lot of the African American things in it too. And all right, in an Indian tribe game, you would have positions, roles. You have the big chief that's top over everything. You have some of his queens. But coming from the beginning, when you first start out, you might be what was considered a wild man. And a wild man, his role is to kind of keep everything organized, kind of like protect his chief, kind of keep people from around him. Don't let the circle close in on him. The spy boy job is to kind of go out in front of the games and do the scouting. Like if you're in the game, you coming up Claiborne, the spy boy might be 2 blocks in front of y'all, trying to make sure there's not another gang that's kind of coming without notice. And the flag boy is right before the chief. Not necessarily to protect the chief, but right in front of the chief. You got to get through the flag boy to see the chief. You can't just see the chief. You're going to speak to the flag boy, the flag boy is going to translate it to the chief. So that's your positions. That's your roles. So it's not only a community thing, it's a family tradition thing amongst a lot of the Indians. And we're trying to keep the culture alive. But at the same time, too, back then it was had more significance to it, more groundedness to it. Way back in the slavery days, New Orleans, Louisiana, was the slave trade capital of the world. Still to this day, we are, because we're the mass incarcerated capital of the world. It's one and the same. It's no different. Back in those days also, you had slaves couldn't speak their native tongue on a plantation or in these situations. They had to go to Congo Square, which was considered out of city limits, to speak their own native tongue. And this was only on Sundays. So you wonder why they have second lives on Sundays? That's why. Super Sunday, same thing. All the slaves used to congregate on Sundays in Congo Square, speak their native tongue, sing, dance, chant. It was like a way of escaping. You know, that whole week you've been slaving, you had a mask on your back or whatever, so now you had this, this gathering with your people. Think about the second lines. You had the second line with your family, with your people, you ain't got a worry in the world. You done walk 2-3 miles and then you didn't realize it. You know, it's somewhat therapeutic, you know. But that's where your Black Mass and Indians come from. That's where your second lines come from, way back in slavery days. It makes sense?